is divided among different departments and is looked after by the head of the organization, that may be at the designation of president on above president board of directors. The controllability concept, which is implemented in any organization by all means, is having these type of diagrams, like at the top there will be board of directors. This won't be a one individual person, around 11 persons, 17 persons, depends on how many board of directors are working together. And a president, from president up to frontline sales workers or frontline workers, may be working at any manufacturing unit, packing unit, they all are included in controllability concept in enterprise performance management. And what is stated in one sentence, that is successful implementation of responsibility accounting depends on clear lines of authority and clearly defined levels of responsibility also. So this is how controllability concept is operated, and responsibility centers are distributed in different departments. Each and every department has to work in proper coordination with other departments. So 1 minute, next point slide. Here, yesterday we have seen there are three major departments working in hand to hand, like vice president of finance, vice president of operations, and vice president of marketing. And when it comes to operations, his downline, like store manager, department manager, below department manager, also people or employees who are working as a team member and reporting to department manager are included. Now, responsibility center. What is stated for responsibility center is a unit or function of an organization headed by a manager. That manager may be vice president of marketing, vice president of finance, likewise, who is directly responsible for its activities and performance. Responsibility center works towards the achievement of the organizational goals. Now, responsibility is having a line hierarchy. This hierarchical placement of the responsibility center helps top management to ensure that decisions made in one part of the organization are congruent. Congruent means similar to or in coordination with decisions made in other department. Now, what is the responsibility center? Further explained, measurement of the performance of a responsibility center is done through cost. That may be manufacturing cost, transportation cost, or other cost included in preparation of a particular product, maybe raw material purchase and other types of costs which are involved, from supplier up to buyer's buyer. Cost is always involved. Profit, revenue, investment, and quality goals set by the organization. There are three different methods of measuring the performance of a responsibility center. How to measure performance? We are entirely involved in measuring performance of responsibility center and many other financial terms. They are efficiency measure, process measure, and effectiveness measure. Efficiency, how efficiency is measured as a responsibility center, that we will look into. When it comes to efficiency measurement, inputs, what inputs we are taking into account? Resources, that may be raw material, transportation, capital equipment, or working employees, machines. Resources used measured by cost. Then work or process happens on inputs used, and output will be goods or services. Now, a soap manufacturing company, What resources they will use? Animal fat, oil, preservatives, surfactant, colors, chemical preservatives, and that will be measured by cost. It is an input process on in entire soap manufacturing factory, partly manual, partly machine will happen, and output will be a full packed boxes of soap, bath soap, then cleansing soap. That may be any type of soap it may be. Now every responsibility center uses inputs. Inputs may be raw material, labor which are involved in moving raw material, processing raw material, storing raw material, transportation of raw material, and services, etc. And needs working capital. All those who are in finance, they must be knowing the meaning and explanation of working capital. We are not going in depth of all financial terms. It is assumed that they are taught to you and learned by you so far from semester 1. Although you were not student of commerce, some basic financial concept were by compulsion taught to you in semester 1 also. So services, every responsibility center uses inputs and needs working capital, equipment, and other assets to function effectively. Now the responsibility center produces outputs, produces after working or processing, produces outputs, which are classified as goods and services. What's the major difference between goods and services? Please let me know. Tangibility is the major difference. Goods can be tangible by metric scale of kilogram, milligram, liter, meter, centimeter. They can be used, stored, and then used late after. But services, simultaneous consumption and production do happen. Intangibility is very strong characteristic of services. So services and hence goods, they can be measured, whereas in human resources it is almost explained in basics. Transportation, accounting, and administration, the output is services that cannot be measured. Goods can be measured in metric scale. Revenues are the amounts earned from providing outputs. Revenues are the amounts earned from providing outputs. Management is responsible for ensuring the optimum relationship between inputs and outputs. When it comes to inputs, it may be manufacturing. Now manufacturing has to happen proportionate with output, like sales. When sales figure are too less, there's no point in manufacturing and storing goods at godown, at warehouses, and they are not required to dump at the stock of wholesalers, retailers, and super stockist, agent, distributor. So what is stated here? Management is responsible for ensuring optimum relationship between inputs and outputs. Now one example I would like to give you here. Every day evening, if you have gone through news channels, all those Marathi, Hindi, or any other regional language, even in English, you will find that today vaccination of city Pune was completely closed. In another few days, you will come to know vaccination for that particular day and day after tomorrow was completely closed for people. Now why it is happening? When it comes to manufacturing of Covishield or Covaxin as a vaccine to be given to common public, and its storage or demand and supply ratio is not matching. That is not happening in a smooth, orderly manner. As and when required, it is available. As and when required, it is used. No, this is not happening with inputs and outputs. Please mute yourself. Ankita, please mute yourself. Now, responsibility center works according to inputs and outputs. 4 types of responsibility centers are there: revenue center, expense center, profit center, and investment center. These responsibility centers classified according to nature of monetary input and output that are measured for control. They are given here. Now, revenue centers are those organizational units in which outputs, that is revenue, are measured in monetary terms, but no formal attempt is made to relate input. So, output. These centers are marketing, sales, or units organizations, and they are not directly responsible for profit. They do not have authority to set selling prices and are not deciding for the cost of goods they market. These are revenue centers wherein outputs are measured in monetary terms. The main objective of revenue centers is to maximize revenues. For example, here given to clear the concept of revenue centers, marketing organization is a sales revenue center. Marketing organization is a sales revenue center. Such a center is devoted to increasing the revenue and assumes no responsibility for production. Marketing organization is concerned with sales revenue, and responsibility of production is given to Vice President Marketing Production. Production department is responsible for maximizing production, not maximizing revenue, and marketing organization is responsible for maximizing sales revenue. So in this center, the manager is responsible for the level of revenue or outputs of a center measured in monetary terms, but it is not for the cost of goods or services that center offers. Now, responsibility center, a system perspective. What is system perspective? Whichever system it works, means marketing, sales, or you can say manufacturing or processing. What is the revenue center? Output controls only this. When it comes to sales or marketing, responsibility center, its output, that is sales revenue, is more important. This is what described in this diagram: input, processes, and output. Control only this. Revenue center is controlling output only. They are not involved in how manufacturing as a process involves and how much manufacturing is happening. Again, apart from responsibility center, we are looking into expense centers or cost centers. In expense centers, inputs or expenses are measured in monetary terms, whereas the outputs are not measured in monetary terms. There are 2 types of expense center: engineered expense centers and discretionary expense centers. There are 2 types of cost involved in engineering expense centers and discretionary expense centers are engineered cost and discretionary cost, wherein with this diagram you have to look into input is the only control of this cost center. Which cost center we are talking of? Inputs or expenses, engineered expense and discretionary expense. Now, in cost center, a business segment that incurs expenses but does not generate revenue, wherein in this cost center business segment incurs expenses but does not generate revenue. Revenue generation is the work of responsibility of sales or marketing center. Now expense center engineered cost and discretionary cost is explained here. Engineered costs are those that can be estimated to a reasonable extent by management. Example of engineered costs are direct labor, material component, supplies and utilities. Now you will come to know, when it comes to manufacturing, several elements are involved as a teamwork, which are labor, material, supplies and utilities. These all are required to be taken into account when it comes to engineered cost. Discretionary cost, discretionary which is at our hand, which can be at one time more and at another time less. You must have heard or you must have seen a term discretionary income. What is meant by discretionary income? Whichever remains in our hand after payment of house rent, insurance premium, health related equipments like medicines and our basic needs, whatever remains with in our hand after spending these many basic things, that is called as discretionary income. Now discretionary cost here is meant for cost that cannot be estimated by the management and incurred depending on management judgment as to the appropriate amount under circumstances. Discretionary cost at one circumstances, at one incident may be lesser than other. So here example given is administrative expense, research and development expense. Engineered expense centers, which can be explained here. Engineered expenses have following characteristics. Their inputs can be measured in monetary terms. How much input or how much labor, material, supplies, equipment were involved in engineered cost. That input, these all are inputs in engineered cost and that can be measured in monetary terms. Their output can be measured in physical terms. Now when it comes to soap factory, how many soaps were manufactured in duration of one shift, in duration of 8 hours. Based on those 8 hours total calculation, even per minute output also can be measured. And here the same thing is stated. Output can be measured in physical terms. Optimal rupee amount of input required to produce 1 unit of output can be determined based on number of outputs measured in a working day, in a clock hour day, and in a minute. We can, organization can have optimal rupee amount of input to produce 1 unit of output. Now in engineered expense centers, cost of the finished product is determined by multiplying the output of each unit with its standard cost. How much labors we required, then how much direct material cost was involved, which all are the components we have to buy, what all are the supplies we use by purchase and utilities. Based on all these entities, that is labor, material, component, supplies and utilities, one can come to the conclusion of per unit, 1 unit output can be determined. Now here its efficiency is measured by comparing the actual cost with the standard cost. Actual cost with the standard cost is compared. Now engineered expense centers are usually found in manufacturing operations and warehousing, distribution, loading and similar units. Trucking or loading are both the same words, and similar units within the marketing organization may also be engineered expense center. Warehouse is engineered expense center. Why it is said so, I will explain you. Certain or for that sake, any tangible product which is manufactured, packed and kept in similar sizes of cartons, boxes, when they are stored at warehouse, they do have certain expiry date. Some physical products are available in solid state, others in semi-solid, and other products which are in glass container, plastic container, they are in liquid state. Based on their physical status and content they do have, their expiry is near one after 6 months, 3 months, or that may be up to 3 years and 5 years also. You must be knowing that most of the Ayurvedic medicines, they don't have any expiry. Now these all goods are stored in warehouses in certain atmospheric conditions. Warehouses required to create that atmospheric condition, they should have proper ventilation. Certain product like vaccine of Pfizer was required to be stored in its initial stage at -70°C. Such warehouses are technically advanced, highly updated, and they have their own cost of storage or cold storage. If we have to say more accurately, all warehouses where cold storage facility is required, they all are sizable portion of storage, and that cost is also important. Perhaps manufacturing cost is lesser than cold storage cost. So warehousing, distribution, trucking, these all costs are included in engineered expense center. For instance, accounts receivable, account payable, and payroll sections in the controller departments, etc. These all costs are engineered expense centers. Discretionary expense, it is further explained in discretionary expense that input cannot be measured in monetary terms. Discretionary expense centers include administrative and support units, legal advisor or legal firms whom we are taking for our help while manufacturing a particular product. We shouldn't go out of the boundary. Now, if any cosmetic product, personal care product, food product, or even medicines, when they are manufactured, what legal boundaries they have? Food and Drug Administration of India, whatever rules and regulations they are asked us to follow, we have to follow them. Accounting, HR, industrial and public relations unit, these all are discretionary expense center. R&D operations and most marketing activities. When it comes to marketing, R&D operations, let me go one by one. Now R&D operations, initial investment in research and development may go for any popular company in $1 million. It's quite possible that one particular problem through R&D operations gave solution in just few $1,000 or few $100,000. And other problem which requires $1 million also. We have sent one device on Mars. Indian Space Research Organization have sent one device on Mars which cost us much lesser than making of a Hollywood movie. Hope you heard about this. It's quite possible that the same device would have been made by investment of $1 million and $1 billion by any other multinational space research organization. So this is all discretionary expense centers. There's no limit or there's no prediction that this much only will be discretionary expense center. Now efficiency is not the difference between budgeted and actual expense in discretionary expense center, but the difference between the budgeted input and actual input. Discretionary expense centers does not imply that management judgment as to optimum cost is capricious or unpredictable and haphazard. Now discretionary expense center, the management decides on certain policies that should govern the company's operation. These relate to the amount of money that should be spent on R&D, financial planning, public relations, etc. The decisions related to such activities depend on the way a company operates. So these all are explanations and descriptions of discretionary expense center. Now, what is meant by profit center? Profit center here explained with its definite specific characteristics. When financial performance of a responsibility center is measured in terms of organization's profit, financial performance of a responsibility center is measured in terms of the organization's profit, then it is called a profit center. Then it is called a profit center. Now, in a profit center, performance is measured in terms of the numerical differences between revenues and expenditure. If okay, students, here's one question for you all. You are listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you are listening to me and if you have learned enough, at least for one semester, your finance, the second point in profit center, what it is stating, in a profit center, performance is measured in terms of the numerical difference between revenue and expenditure. Okay. In slide profit center, the second point, I have gone through it and I will go one more time. In a profit center, performance is measured in terms of numerical difference between revenue and expenditure. Okay. Now, when it is counted in rupee value, okay, what should be in rupee value higher than what should be in rupee value higher, whether revenue or expenditure? Then we can say profit is happening. My question, you got it? When a company is in profit, when we can say a company is in profit, what should be higher? What should be in rupee value higher, output or input? Here, which quantity should be in higher in rupee value, revenue or expenditure? You are not getting my question? Hello, students. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So which one should be at higher in rupee value, output or input? If we have to say a company is in profit, earning profit, in situation, revenue will be higher or expenditures will be higher? Very simple question I am asking
Revenue,
you.
sir.
Yes, for that simple answer, you are taking too much time. If revenue generated is 12 rupees, 15 rupees, 18 rupees, and total expenditures were 10 rupees, our revenue is 2 rupees, 5 rupees, or 8. Very simple thing. When a company or a center is said to be in a profit, their revenue has to be always at higher value and expenditure at lower value. This is very simple thing. A profit center is given the responsibility of earning profits. Every manufacturing unit is not only having responsibility of manufacturing product, they have to save at the cost of raw material. They are required to save in transportation. Certain cost cutting or cost saving has to happen when packing is done. Every other profit center is required to work in congruence with other departments. It's not that we are only responsible for manufacturing. We will do it at our best by including all worldly class material, costly material, and we will hand over it to marketing department. No, that is not the responsibility of finance, manufacturing, operating, or any engineering cost center. Profit center is given the responsibility of earning profit. It is involved in the manufacture and sale of outputs, and it measures how well the center is doing economically. Every other department is required to work economically. Profit centers also determines the efficiency of the manager in charge of the center, and in charge manager is also responsible for working as a earning profit center. Now, responsibility centers, a system perspective in profit center, they are mainly involved in input and output. When choosing input, they have to see economy, and even in output, they have to be economical. Now, profit centers, a part of the business that has control over both revenues and expenses. Revenue comes from sales, interest, and expenses occur on account of manufacturing, commissions, salaries, and certain other factors. That other factors may include octroi, road tax, and there are different types of taxes also. Now, profit center, what profit center do? Helps in motivating managers to perform well in areas they control, and also encourages managers to take initiative. A profit center, that may be for sales manager, finance manager, in his area, they have control and also encourages managers to take initiative. Profit center helps the organization to make the best use of specialized market knowledge. Profit center helps organization to make best use of specialized market knowledge of the divisional managers, and entrusts the local managers the responsibility. Most of the divisional managers holding at high position, and they are taking help of their knowledge, skill, and past experience. And local managers are at junior level position. Now, profit centers have been used as a major management control tool. Let's see what all are the advantages of a profit center. These help in increasing speed of making operating decisions, as they do not have to be referred to corporate headquarters. Decision making authority lies with the managers. They can make better decisions related to the task they are performing. A manufacturing unit or a financial unit, whether they are providing goods or providing services, they are performing because they can understand the nature of work better. Since profit centers make their day-to-day decisions themselves, headquarters can concentrate on broader issues of the organization. Once a vice president of marketing, vice president of operations, vice president of finance, accounting, they are given their task, they have their decision making at their individual center. Frequently, regularly, they are not reporting such things whichever happening based on circumstances. They are taking their decisions. So headquarter can look after other issues also. Managers are motivated to perform more effectively, as they are responsible for increasing the profit of their unit. Now, managers use their imagination, take initiatives to perform more effectively to increase the profit of their unit. Now, another advantages of profit center, they are similar to independent companies. They provide an excellent training ground for general management, not to waste material, keep it in proper stored conditions, have better climatic condition, doing packaging in a protective manner. All these things are operated and worked out like an independent company. Profit consciousness is enhanced since managers who are responsible for profit will constantly seek ways to increase them. Every profit center manager is constantly looking after increasing profit consciousness. How company can be profited by means of all cost saving measures, by means of all different practices. Profit centers provide top management with ready-made information on profitability of company's individual components. Now, what all are the difficulties? We have seen advantages. Definitely, there has to be certain disadvantages also. What disadvantages or difficulties with profit center do come? Decentralized decision making will force top management to rely more on management control reports than on personal knowledge of an operation, entailing some loss of control. Now, decentralized decision making. Decentralized decision making as a word states that every other profit center will have their own decision making power, which won't be having any control of the top management. Now, if headquarters management is more capable or better informed than the average profit center manager, the quality of decisions made at the unit level may be reduced. If headquarters manager are better informed, are better capable than profit center manager, quality decisions at the unit level may be reduced. So the profit center won't have any authority to give decisions. Now, with more elaborate explanation for disadvantage, organization units are once cooperated as functional units may now be in competition with another. An increase in profits for one manager may mean a decrease for another. Now, a marketing manager is asking for better advertisement or positioning of a particular brand. When it comes to such type of recommendations by marketing department to advertising, advertising cost goes at higher. Now what happens? Because advertising cost is going at higher, marketing department is gaining on profit on account of better advertising done. Sale is also increasing. That benefits to marketing department. Now what happens? Advertising cost is increasing. Hence, advertising is having higher expenditure and less profit. So what happens? An increase in profits for one manager may mean a decrease for another. Marketing manager is in profit. Advertising manager is at loss. Divisionalization may impose additional cost because of the additional management, staff personnel, and record keeping required, and may lead to task redundancies at each profit center. Difficulties with profit center further, competent general managers may not exist. Competent general manager may not exist in a functional organization because there may not have been sufficient opportunities for them to develop general management competence. Now there may be too much emphasis on short-run profitability at the expense of long-run profitability. In the desire to report high current profits, the profit centers manager may avoid on research and development, training programs, or maintenance. Short-term profit is required, hence research and development is going avoided. Training programs for sales or manufacturing people are not happening. So this is what happens because of profit centers. There is no completely satisfactory system for ensuring that optimizing the profits for each individual profit center will optimize the profits of the company as well. Types of profit center we have already seen. functional units can be classified as different types of profit center. A multi-business company can be divided into independent profit generating units such as marketing, finance, manufacturing, etc. The decisions regarding whether a particular functional unit can be a profit center on the responsibility center's manager's ability to influence, if not controlled, other activities that affect the company. Now there are different profit centers as marketing, manufacturing, support and service centers. This is what relevant to different types of profit center. Let's look into investment center, a profit center where management also makes capital investment decisions. Capital investment decisions. What all are the capital equipment for an organization? Which all are the capital investment decisions a company make? Which all are the capital goods? Yes. No idea? Building, transportation vehicles are the capital equipment goods. A segment whose manager has control over cost, revenues and investment in operating assets. Investment center is a segment whose manager has control over cost, revenues and investment in operating assets. Now here, investment center has responsibility for both input, process and output. As an investment center, they do have control over all the three processes. Investment centers here explain a responsibility center in which inputs are measured in terms of cost and outputs are measured in terms of revenue, and in which assets employed are also measured. All the three stages, raw material coming, manufacturing process happening and finished goods is getting stored or getting sold, all these three investment centers are measured here. In other words, investment centers considers not only cost and revenue but also assets used in the division. An investment center has control over sales revenue and operating cost and does the assets used to generate profit. An investment unit manager must be in a position to influence the size of the investment and profit variables. Even in investment center, a measure of economic performance, and it analyzes all elements of profit and investment. Objective of this investment center is to maximize profit given the amount of investment required to generate the profit. All these three, input, process, output, are having control of investment center. Investment center is the essence of analysis, is the essence of investment center analysis is the relationship between profits and the assets they are used to generate those profits. The design of measurement systems and financial performance of a firm is based on the principles of return on investment. Now ROI as a term we are looking into. ROI is an important organizational issue, return on investment. Each responsibility center should contribute to the ROI. The contribution of each center of an organization to ROI depends on allocation of resources to the center manager. When manufacturing center or profitability center relevant to manufacturing, how much raw material we are supplying, in how much quantity, what is the standard of quality for raw material, in how much time that machine and human power, human resources are taking for completing making a finished product. These all things are relevant with resources to the center manager, manufacturing VP. Hence, ROI is an important investment criteria for the responsibility centers. This is what relevant to return on investment. Now, measuring performance in investment sector, whether performance centers are working well, doing well, how to measure their performance. Performance measuring of investment center. Managers make decisions that affect both profit and investment capital. Now, investment center evaluation is done by return on investment, residual income, or economic value added. Today, we have gone with enough sufficient financial terms. Now, I won't go ahead with next slide, so that whatever you have seen today through PowerPoint presentation, you would be able to memorize and you would be able to study properly. I do have around 63 slides for this particular topic, first topic of our EPM, Enterprise Performance Management, Introduction to Performance Management. Now, I am told to share notes with you people who are about to appear your exam. Any idea when you will be having your exam? You are going through university notices. Yes, students.
Probably June end or July 1st week, sir.
Okay. Now, what is told to or what was shared with us in today's meeting, all your major subjects, 6 main subjects which are for university, what is said that we have to finish up with the syllabus as fast as possible, not by going with speed, but by making you realize what concept we are studying in a particular subject or for a particular topic. Now we will be going through all important concepts or subtopics, but with the gist of the topic, we will go ahead. Okay, and these all study materials like PowerPoint or PDF notes, I will share with you all, provided one among you or 2-3 students among you take initiative, give their email address to me, and with the email address given, I will forward you those notes or those PowerPoint slides. Based on that study material, you can prepare for your multiple choice question exam. Isn't it? That way we can go.
Yes, sir.
So one of you students have to take responsibility of collection of study material, or even if one student is not sufficient, 2 or 3 students can take it. I will hand over you study material, or I will ask our system department, Mohit sir, and other one teacher. So you can collect the way you are collecting what we say multiple choice questions with answer. If I can give that study material to that department and you can collect it from there. Let me ask one more time. Otherwise, I will mail it to your mail address, and that way we can. Perhaps from 1st June, our college is starting full time. There we will have chance, opportunity to meet each other. All my study material is stored in pen drive, and that also I can share with you. There won't be any issue for me. So you can pass up with maximum marks as much as you can score. So that way we can work out also. Now all these terms and financial terms what I am talking here, I am making you familiar. Hope you have this page with yourself. That is one syllabus copy. I have last lecture told you enterprise performance management. Just a minute. Is the Word file visible to all? This file is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
So here performance management first topic is having contents, responsibility center, revenue center, expense center, discretionary cost. These all return on investment, return on asset. All this is covered in performance management, whose notes I do have. Okay, so that way I got one student, Karan Mutha 6@gmail.com. Okay, that's better. 1 minute, I will make note of this. Now I am giving you my mail address. SCSUN. Few more students can reply me on my mail address for asking notes so that I can forward them. Okay, and we will have study material passed on you. Okay, it's 6 o'clock now, 7 o'clock now. I am stopping here. All of you, bye.
Sir, just to ask one question. Is
One.
it sure our offline lectures are going to be conducted from June?
That's possible. That's possible.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.